Hello everyone. Today we will explore the fascinating history of Heeswijk Castle. Early historical documents reference its existence as a key fortification, marking its importance in the defensive networks in the Netherlands. So its story goes back almost 1,000 years. Imagine what has happened here. This castle has seen battles, changes of power, and the lives of many noble families unfold within its walls. Let me tell you a little bit about its architecture. Heeswijk Castle is a kind of blend of two powerful styles, Gothic and Renaissance. Its tall towers, turrets, and strong walls were designed to protect the people living inside. Over time, though, the castle transformed. As wars ended and peace arrived, the castle became a home, a luxurious home for the noble families who lived here. Heeswijk Castle was a motte and bailey structure, typical of the feudal era. Constructed on a man-made mound, it was surrounded by wooden palisades and a moat, offering basic protections against invaders. By the late 12th century, the wooden structures were replaced by stone, transforming the castle into a more durable fortress. This period marked ascendancy of feudal lords who wielded both military and political power. Those thick walls and defensive towers were not just symbols of power, they were necessary in a turbulent era of rivalries and territorial disputes. One of the most notable chapters in the castle's history is the 19th century. Baron Andreas van den Bogaerde van Terbrugge, a Belgian noble, bought the castle in 1834 and began extensive renovations. And he added a neo-Gothic tower to the castle, which still stands today. The castle's history is steeped in conflict, reflecting the power structures of medieval Europe. In 1286, Heeswijk Castle was at the center of a feud between local nobility and the Duke of Brabant. Over the years, it became a pawn in larger geopolitical struggles, especially during the 80 Years' Wars, when the Dutch fought for independence from Spanish rule. One of the most dramatic moments came in 1629, during the siege of 's-Hertogenbosch, when Dutch forces led by Frederik Hendrik of Orange captured the castle. It was a crucial victory for the Protestant Dutch against Catholic Spain. In 1672, the castle hosted Louis XIV, Le Roi Soleil and his troops during their campaign against the Dutch. And during World War II, it witnessed an airborne landing during the Market Garden operation. The foundation, established by the last Baroness, ensured its preservation, transforming Heeswijk Castle into a venue for weddings, concerts, and educational tours. Today, Heeswijk Castle is a museum that offers visitors a window into Dutch and art history. It stands not only as a relic of the past, but also as a vibrant cultural institution. Visitors can explore decorated rooms, learn about its military and noble heritage, immerse themselves in the lives of those who lived and worked within its walls. The story of Heeswijk Castle is one of resilience and transformation. From its origins as a medieval fortress to its current role as an art museum, it has adapted to changes, needs, and values of each era. The interior of Heeswijk Castle is a reflection of the refined tastes, collecting passion, and noble representation of its owners. Among the most striking features is the Grand Hall, where a gallery of ancestor portraits display the Van Bogaerde family's long and distinguished lineage. This ancestral gallery celebrates the family noble heritage, with paintings depicting generations of the Van den Bogaerdes. Now, let's talk about the noble families who lived here. Over the centuries, many different families called Heeswijk Castle their home. One of the most notable were the Van den Bogaerde family. They bought the castle in the 19th century and made it their own. Despite the grandeur, the castle's history was not without conflict. In the late 19th century, the family faced legal challenges over the ownership of the castle. Perhaps the most bizarre chapter in the family's saga was Alberic's will. In his testament, he stipulated that the castle could not be inhabited for 80 years after his death, and no part of the estate could be sold. Many people see this as a strange will, but it wasn't. Alberic simply wanted to protect his legacy. He feared that his nephew Henry would sell everything off. Unfortunately, he was right. Each room was designed to evoke a sense of grandeur and continuity with the past, blending medieval aesthetics with 19th century luxury. When you walk through Heeswijk Castle, you can visit many rooms that speak to the opulence of its former owners. The Chinese dining room is a highlight of Heeswijk Castle. This room features hand-painted Chinese silk curtains and wallpaper from the early 19th century. The tin room, which was once the grand bedroom, is filled with tin collections. And in the library, you will find a cozy and peaceful space where you can almost feel the presence of the aristocratic families that once lived here. The official last resident of Heeswijk Castle, engineer Julian, Charles, Othon, Alexandre, Manuel, Henri, Joseph, Marie, Ghislain, Baron van Bogaerde van Terbrugge, from 1882 till 1974, played a significant role in preserving and presenting the family's legacy. He was very keen on displaying genealogical records that traced his lineage back to numerous distinguished ancestors. While these documents were meant to impress visitors, some of the records may have exaggerated or romanticized the family's history to enhance its prestigious image. Even so, Queen Wilhelmina consulted the Baron for a suitable noble partner for her daughter Juliana. Another strange story revolved around Baron Willem, or Guillaume, the last resident of the castle, and his affair with the divorced Belgian Marie-Louise van Loo. William even managed to convince his wife, Albertine, to legally adopt Marie-Louise. This adoption created a complex situation. It legally made William the father of Marie-Louise, while the child he had fathered with her was not adopted by William and Albertine. It was all quite absurd. The Tin Room, named for its collection of antique tinware displayed around the room, this grand bedroom also boasts a 17th century stucco ceiling and beautiful carved wooden panels, no two alike. French King Louis XIV is said to have slept here. The Van Bogaerde family also had connections with the Dutch royal family. Albertine, William's wife, was a lady-in-waiting for Queen Wilhelmina and was involved in raising Princess Juliana. Juliana often visited Heeswijk Castle to play tennis. We find an intriguing parallel between Princess Juliana and Baroness Albertine. Both were raised Protestant, both struggled to find suitable husbands, and both eventually ended up, if I may say so, married to the wrong man. After her husband William's death, Baroness Albertine found herself torn between her duty to maintain the family estate and looming financial strain of the necessary restoration work. She lacked the millions required for the upkeep, all while feeling the pressure of her stepdaughter Marie-Louise, who was claiming portions of the inheritance. After many disputes, the castle eventually passed into the hands of the Kasteel Heeswijk Foundation, and it is now open to the public. Once a private residence and a symbol of the family's noble status, Heeswijk Castle now welcomes the public to explore its rich history. From its grand architecture to the artifacts within its walls, the castle offers a window into the life of the Van den Bogaerde family, their legacy, their dramas, and their place in Dutch aristocracy. Today, it remains a fascinating example of a family's enduring impact on both the region and the country's history. Perhaps the most whimsical feature of Heeswijk Castle is found in a small tower room where the ceiling is decorated entirely with Chinese porcelain plates. This unusual but striking design demonstrates the Van den Bogaerde family's adventurous spirit in interior decoration. The plates carefully arranged to form a pattern, catch the light and add a playful yet elegant touch to the space. The staircase hall is an architectural and artistic marvel, with walls lined with painted tile tableaux. These tiles depict pastoral and decorative scenes, blending artistry with functionality. The sweeping staircase with its carved wooden banister leads visitors through the various levels of the castle, each offering more to discover. The story of Heeswijk Castle is not just a story of a building, but of the noble families that shaped it, the art they collected, and the architecture that tells the history of their times. By visiting the castle today, we can step into the past and experience the life of the nobility, from their lavish art collections to the design of the spaces they inhabited. It's easy to see why this castle is considered an important piece of Dutch heritage. The large medieval kitchen offers a fascinating look at life below stairs. The Armory Hall of Arms. Reflecting the castle's medieval origins and the family's interest in history, the armory houses an impressive collection of weaponry, including swords, armor, and even large military artifacts. The Hall of Arms, a neo-Gothic addition, serves as both a display area for these items and a tribute to the martial prowess of the family's ancestors. The interior of Heeswijk Castle tells the story of its former residents, their aspirations and their place in the aristocracy. From the grand public spaces to intimate private rooms, the castle remains a living museum, offering a window into the opulence, artistry and complexity of the noble Van den Bogaerde family. Visitors today can walk through these halls and rooms, experiencing firsthand the blend of history and culture that define Heeswijk Castle. The story of Heeswijk Castle is not just a story of a building, but of the noble families that shaped it, the art they collected, and the architecture that tells the history of their times. By visiting the castle today, we can step into the past and experience the life of the nobility, from their lavish art collections to the design of the spaces they inhabited. Outside, formal gardens invite leisurely strolls, offering stunning views of the castle. Swans glide gracefully on the moat, while wooded paths provide a tranquil escape. Don't miss the lookout tower, reconstructed from the original mud and bale structure. Consider how each aspect of Heeswijk Castle, from its architecture to its furnishings, tells the story of the nobility and their evolving role in society. This castle, in all its history, is a remarkable example of how the built environment can reflect the values, aspirations, and transformations of a culture across time. Thank you for your attention. I look forward to guiding you through the history and stories. Look for more information in the description of the video.